I'll tell you what. We got a great story brewing in the Bay. And that's where I'm starting today because what we're on the verge of is pretty cool. There's no doubt about it. So the San Jose Sharks have the number 1 pick in the NHL draft. That was determined last night. And all indications are they're going to take a player named Macklin Celebrini.
Oh.
His dad works for the Warriors. He's their strength and conditioning director of everything athletic. And I got to tell you, this is the kind of thing that can transform a franchise. I'm not here to tell you I know hockey.
Scar.
You know that. But the idea that the San Jose Sharks have the number 1 pick and they're going to pick a homegrown kid.
Man.
I mean, I don't think it gets any better than that. And Macklin Celebrini has a chance to elevate the Sharks and hockey in the Bay Area to where it's never been before.
Because it's down right now, Steiny. And I walked in this morning and you and Evan were talking and I'm like, what's going on? So I won't front. I turn on the Sharks, Steiny, but they are down. I've been to the tank, but this is a beautiful story, especially if you allow me to kind of apply it to the NBA where we talk about draft picks and saviors and what LeBron was. The Sharks are embarking on their LeBron James, and his daddy is one of the GOATs on keeping the guys healthy with the Golden State Warriors. I mean, seriously, man, I was like, and I ain't gonna front, I hadn't heard anything about the kid. Yeah. And they got the number 1 pick. I'm going to get a black jersey.
So,
because they got some good merch.
Yeah, about midway through the hoop season, somebody said to me, or I overheard, or I don't know, they said, oh yeah, Rick Celebrini's got a kid that plays hockey who's really good.
Oh, so you knew.
Well, I didn't know he was this good.
Right.
But the reality of the situation is that, you know, as the draft came up, I saw that this guy was better than just good. Guru, he's 17 years old.
Why do I like that?
He's 17 years old.
Go ahead.
You know, and look, all right, don't be a stickler for homegrown. I'll say he's from the Bay. He's been here for the last 6 years. His dad,
Willow Glen.
Yeah. I mean, that's where he's been living.
All right.
But nevertheless, the 17 years old.
The savior. And they need it, though. They've earned it, Steiny.
It's so cool in a way.
It's big.
Imagine the possibilities. I mean, seriously.
I already know where I'm going.
Is it possible the Sharks could rise up the pecking order?
If this dude is... Now, I got to be careful.
No, you don't have to be, you don't
Mario
have to be careful.
Lindros, Steiny, Gordie Howe. What? I mean, he's going to be who he is, but what if he has that impact? And I'm telling you, hell yeah, they would vault. They've been down. They had the worst attendance last year in the NHL, Steiny. So it's been, I mean, coaches come and going, but the fact that this kid got Bay Area ties, I'm serious, man. I'm excited. Then what did I ask you and Evan? When's the draft?
Right.
When's it going to happen? It's in June. So, gosh, I'm excited, man.
The number 1 pick in the NHL draft is going to be a guy who's living in California.
I don't even know the noise they make. You know, the NFL's ding-ding-ding.
Oh.
What is it? I don't know what hockey uses. Anyway.
No, it's just, this is such a cool story.
17, and he could be the savior.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm going to become a Sharks fan.
Offsides.
But I'm more interested in the Sharks, and I will absolutely, positively keep an eye on this kid.
And you had a great question. You said, is he going to start in AAA or AA? We had one of our, Ethan, one of our hockey experts, he was like, the kid's so good, he should be on the big club to start next year, Steiny, once they draft him. That's going to be a sellout.
Oh, I guess somebody's coming down my road for, you know how I always say, young guys need to develop? 408 says, if Steiny thinks he will take a couple of years because he's young, take a seat on this one, Steiny. NHL number 1 overalls almost always play on the team that season.
Now, there we go. All more reason to be excited.
Hey, 408. When I say guys need time to develop, I'm talking NBA. I wouldn't know in hockey. Come on, man. Don't be killing me like that.
Yeah.
Well, unlike Kuminga, he does have college experience.
That's true.
That
1
thing
year.
stood with me yesterday.
Yeah, it's just a great story, and I figured we'd start.
And we
there.
might have some hockey guests. Might.
I'm trying to think of players who were drafted by their hometown, and obviously LeBron. But
that makes it more incredible.
I mean, he's from Akron. I guess you could say close enough.
Oh, good God, Stoney.
But what are I can't think of some other athletes that were drafted by their hometown teams essentially, and went on to just elevate everything.
Ricky Henderson, drafted by the Oakland A's from the town.
Yeah.
I'll call him a friend. But yeah. And you said you were excited and I didn't know why. I know because of this, but then you said there was another piece of it.
Yeah.
You gonna tell me?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So let's listen to Dave in Fremont. What's going on, Dave? How you doing? You can jump in here right away. Start us off.
Good morning, fellas. Good morning, fellas. It's a good day. Happy that the number 1 pick didn't go to Chicago.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's kind of the running joke. Everybody was joking that the number 1 pick was going to go to Chicago, and Guru, it's actually, you know how you were mentioning before how you didn't really hear about him.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's because the Sharks had the best odds to get the number 1 pick, and if it would have been like Chicago or one of the bigger market teams, you would have been hearing all about him.
Okay, gotcha.
A little bit. I watched a little bit of them. Watched a little bit of them in the Frozen Four. Now they lost to Denver in the national championship game, but here's something that we got to look forward to as Sharks fans. 2 years ago, number 1 pick, William Eklund. Last year, number 1 pick, Will Smith. This year, we're going to take Celebrini. We got some young kids for the future.
Let me ask you this, Dave.
Smart.
Let me ask you this, because this is kind of, I find this very fascinating. So you just mentioned their first picks from the last 2 years. Isn't there something extra special about a kid like this who's been out here for 5 or 6 years?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You just hit the nail right on the head. I mean, especially in out here in the Bay Area where, hockey isn't like, huge. But hockey is actually becoming a very, very popular, especially like viewing sport out here. And yeah, especially since the kid, I mean, he played on the junior Sharks for a little bit. He's been out here. He mentioned his time out here. And the other thing that I really like about this kid is, he's young, but he's super mature. The way he plays on the ice, he's got, eyes in the back of his head. He's smart. He's 6'1", but he's tough for a younger, smaller kind of a center. But again, he's got the goods, and it's so just kind of exciting because it's like you do have a kid who's like the homegrown guy who he grew up a lot in Vancouver as well too. He mentioned that he was a Vancouver Canucks fan, but just the fact that again, he has the ties to the city, the Bay Area, and it's really cool because again, the Sharks have been kind of on the they haven't been good.
No.
We'll just put it that way.
No.
But this gives us some excitement as Sharks fans and just the Bay Area in general. That's the one good thing about or I shouldn't say the one good thing, but one of the best things about the Bay Area is that we support our teams, we love our teams. So we got a lot to look forward to, fellas.
Good stuff, Dave. Yeah. I'm happy for Sharks fans. Happy for Sharks fans.
Man, Stoney, and maybe all the disgruntled Bay Area baseball fans, not that they're not hockey fans, if this kid hits the ground running. My guy Lee Hubbard, our guy, texted in Derrick Rose, and then I got 20 Derrick Rose on the text messages.
Yes,
Derrick Rose. The Shy. Yeah. He didn't deliver a chip, though.
Evan had a great one, too.
Uh-oh.
Pete Rose.
Oh, man.
Pete Rose was from
guy.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I do think if a guy's got local ties, it takes it takes it to the next level.
There's
really
no doubt
do.
that would. Yeah,
and this is going to be fun. I also I love watching a guy who, and he's not going to be this in the NHL, but just love watching a guy grow.
Yeah,
we
were talking about Steph Curry and Dre.
He's going to be homegrown,
but they ain't really homegrown. This is really homegrown.
I mean, the thing, this guy's 17, 18 years old. Can't believe it.
Yeah, ticket sales are going to go through the roof, right?
You would
can
think.
imagine. Yep.
How much pressure do you think there is on him?
By the way, they have not drafted him yet.
Oh,
that's part of the allure. That's part of the stardom is that they just won the draft lottery.
Yes.
And everyone's excited about this kid. The draft doesn't happen until June 28th.
I mean, the only thing they didn't do was hold up a Sharks jersey with Celebrini's name on it.
I got you.
Remember when the New York Knicks won the lottery, I think in 85, the Knicks won the lottery, and I want to say Dave DeBusschere was the GM at the time. They had a Knicks jersey with Patrick Ewing's name on it. They were like, we're taking him number one, and we've got no...
Rest in peace, David Stern.
Yeah, we've got no qualms about it. I mean, very rarely do things fall into play. There's no chance that the Sharks don't take Macklin Celebrini.
Don't butcher it. Shout out Shasky.
Put in the cap.
Yeah.
Put in the cap.
This is a game changer, man.
I mean, the fact that he's got ties here just is icing on the cake. It's gravy, and I'm just happy for Sharks fans. Yeah. I mean, they got to be excited,
and maybe there'll be more out there if this kid hits the ground running, Sonny. Yeah, and he becomes their Steph Curry.
So I heard this story before the show. It's kind of interesting, and it gives you a little insight on Draymond Green too. The really, the real good part. So I guess a couple years ago or last year, Draymond was in Chicago, and he says to Rick Celebrini, "Well, hey, I want to see your son play. Look at the schedule. And do we have it? Do we have it?
This is dope already. I don't even know.
Listen to this. This is many things going on, but just take a listen and we'll talk about it."
So I'm laying on the table, Rick's working on me, and I'm like, "Hey, Rick, when we go to Chicago, any chance Matt got a game?" He starts checking the schedule. He's like, "Oh, actually, he does." I'm like, "Great, I'm going." Mac didn't have his best game, but I'm an athlete. Like, when somebody got it. You can look at how someone moved, their swagger, what they're doing, how people react to them on the ice. Like, who got it. And he just had it. You got a chance to see a generational talent play before everybody else of the generation even realized he's generational.
That was Draymond Green who watched him. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, he got it. He didn't have to score 30.
I'll be honest with you. How cool is it that Draymond Green goes to see the son of a guy on the staff play? Like, that's dope. That's one of the things that stood out to me. Like,
and that's the part of Draymond we don't get to see a lot of. That's why Steph has his back probably in the Warriors at every turn, Stoney. We see the monster and what it takes, the junkyard dog, but we don't see the behind-the-scenes stuff. So that was tight. He said he wanted to – that's like me coming to see one of your girls get out.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, the other thing, I'm thinking of the pressure on this kid. Like Draymond Green. And I'll bet you Draymond Green knows hockey.
Well, he knew his mannerisms to say he didn't have his best game, but you could tell he had the swag.
But Draymond Green uses the term generational talent.
Gretzky.
I mean,
Mario.
Is there a downside to be drafted by your hometown team?
Well, some say a lot, there's a lot of distraction.
Right.
Like if Jay Kidd or Gary Payton were a Warrior, I'm sure there's a lot more stuff you got to deal with, but I wouldn't know, Stoney. I guess I work for the hometown, the radio station where I'm from. You both? Yeah. Well, you'd be on 93.7 The Fan in Pennsylvania.
I guess so. I just, it's a great story. And,
I appreciate you sharing. I had no idea.
It's where I wanted to start because So cool.
And
so
what do you
cool.
think his dad's feeling?
Oh, my God.
That's what, as a father, well,
his dad, I guess, is doing a press conference at 10:30. We'll have some sound from that later on.
He's also got an older brother that was a 6th-round pick before. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, this ain't the first Celebrini that's going to be taking the ice in the pros.
But this is a number one picky. They'll just shout out to the Aiden. Yeah.
This is
number one.
This is one of those things where
we think.
This is one of those things where it's hard to describe, but it feels like everything's fallen into place. And again, you don't have to be a hockey fan to realize the importance of this. The Sharks haven't made the postseason in 5 years.
Good God.
And here's the other thing that's great about this. The kid has a great name. Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah.
Little things like that
what did
add up to give you the possibility that this could be the start of something extra special.
And the Bay, the home of the Mac, shout out Max Julian, too short. But Evan said when he scores a goal, Stoney, I'm adding this. When he scores a goal, they play the song, Return of the Mac. Yeah.
You might be doing a lot more of that.
No, I'm
Scar.
I've been to just real quick.
When's the last Sharks game you've been to?
5 years ago where Rick Tittle was playoffs.
That's right. Yeah.
And the place was booming like that. I don't like beer pong, but Rick took me all over the place. People were playing adults beer pong.
After.
After.
What are you talking?
The streets were on fire.
Oh.
It was like a carnival. But beer pong's so stupid.
You didn't have to mention the beer pong.
Well, just drink and talk. That's right. It's for ping pong. The ball. Well, I had to walk off. It was a party.
I thought you were going to talk about the atmosphere there.
No, that was on full display. And I think E40 came out. You know how they always have I love that. The guest guy, come on.
You know what I'm wondering? This is one of the things I wonder.
I wonder if there's a name for the guest guy.
You know that there are a lot of Sharks fans out there.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we don't talk hockey here. There's no doubt about that. And there's some hardcore Sharks fans.
Yep.
And I actually wonder if the fact that you and me are excited about this, and if I say, you know what, I'll definitely go down and check out a game. If you're a hardcore Sharks fan, are you all for everybody on the bandwagon?
You have to. The bandwagon is symbolic of good. Why do you gotta, I like them more? When the people come, some business is good. The bandwagon is symbolic of business is booming.
Some hardcore fans, they get proprietary about their teams.
Like you with the T-Wolves. You don't like everybody jumping on the
exactly.
Why? Celebrate it.
Because
Not everyone can be friends with the head coach,
Well,
Steiny.
there you go, too. We need some gear. You need some mini gear. Give me his number. I'll text him.
Who?
Finch.
Why?
Because you need some T-Wolf gear. You had everything. Atlanta, D.C.
I got rules with him.
Oh.
I don't text him during a series.
They don't play again until Friday.
I know.
That's a little too long for me.
I don't know. I could see.
I'm excited. How many others? Evan, and I know Spadoni, they watch, but this is what they needed. That's the other part where Steiny, they're down right now. 5 years since making the playoffs. Worse attendance.
You don't think there's some Sharks fans out there that are like, oh boy, here we go. Now, Steinmetz and Guru are going to talk hockey.
Oh, no.
Oh, here we go. Now they're fans. Now they're fans.
Bother me.
Now they're fans. We've been around for 20-plus years, and now they're fans. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
As opposed to what? Drinking by yourself and your team not making the playoffs? That what you want? Nobody to talk to?
Like, what if tickets are going to be harder to come by?
The more the merrier, man. How about that?
I'm just saying.
How much does Draymond Green and his vote of confidence for this kid make you feel more invested? Because it's something to hear about how great a player is and how much success they're expected to have at first. But when you hear someone that is a Bay Area icon or is a fixture in the area that they're going to be playing in, giving them that pump up, I think that means something.
I do too.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to assume that Draymond knows a little bit about hockey, having grown up in Flint.
And the fact that he said he
went
didn't
to
have his
Michigan
best
State.
game, Stoney, and knew he still had it, and what that's like coming to see the big man on campus.
Okay, here's the 408. See, somebody I think's being honest here.
Oh boy.
As long as you all, I guess he means me, as long as you all don't pretend you know what's happening, it's all good. Don't be on here criticizing players once the season starts, but go all in on the hyping. Well, let me tell you something about hockey.
Offsides.
I may not know a lot about hockey, but there are all kinds of similarities to basketball.
Except the power play.
Well, I'm just saying, they move without the puck, move without the ball, passing.
Offsides. They don't have that in the
That's
NBA.
true.
Yeah.
650, better late than never.
Man.
We love your show, but always have to go to other outlets to hear about our beloved Sharks. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a new era.
That's dope, man.
Well,
We'll see.
Well, no, that's the
We'll
hope,
see.
though, Evan.
I mean,
All the number one picks
Hey,
and throughout
you may
sports
think
that have been transcendent guys that have hit.
you may think I'm kidding, but we never. This is kind of what I mean about the opportunity this kid has. He actually does have the opportunity to put the Sharks on the sports radio map.
National.
No, I'm talking us.
Oh.
If this kid is a generational talent and the Sharks all of a sudden start running the table,
Yeah.
I bet we talk some hockey. If he's the best athlete in the Bay Area,
I'm not mad
absolutely. And the thing that's cool, here's to me what the best part is about this. And I just wanted to start with this because I just think it's so cool. A guy like me, I'm going to get a chance to kind of watch hockey, learn more about hockey, get a little more interested in hockey through this kid.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
Through this kid. There it is. That's the connection.
it's going to be fun.
But just back to the number one pick,
Yeah.
Stein, LeBron James has to be the greatest number one pick of all time.
You mean from his hometown?
Yeah. Or just in general. I mean, good God. And he delivered a chip to his hometown. And I know it's close enough. Ohio. Like, that is incredible, man. Just think, that's what you want this kid to be. And I know that's a lot of pressure, but good God, LeBron has delivered.
Yeah, I think some sticklers would say.
Ken Griffey Jr. was the number one pick, but he had his stuff.
Was Magic the number one pick? Magic Johnson? I mean, winning the MVP in the NBA Finals your first year, that's a pretty good.
Peyton Manning was a number one pick, I believe.